Welcome to Week 8, Bible Studies for Life. Today we start a whole new section, the last few weeks of this quarter. We're going to be in the book of Genesis, the end of the book of Genesis, and basically doing the story of Joseph. Now these are stories that are, famous. If you've been in church very long, you've probably heard some of these. Some of the stories that we grew up with, great stories about Joseph. So I think we're going to really enjoy going through these several chapters of the book of Genesis. Today we'll be in Genesis chapter 37. So before we get started, be sure that you like and comment, share this, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Please do that, and we'll have a keep growing. We're hit 500. We want to keep going past that. All right, let's look at Genesis chapter 37. These are the family records of Jacob. At 17 years of age, Joseph tended sheep with his brothers. The young man was working with the sons of Bilhah and Zilpah, his father's wives, and he brought a bad report about them to their father. Now Israel loved Joseph more than his other sons because Joseph was a son born to him in his old age, and he made a robe of many colors for him. And when his brothers saw that their father loved him more than all his brothers, they hated him and could not bring themselves to speak peaceably to him. Okay, first we notice this. We've got Jacob and we've got Israel here. These are the same guy, two names, one guy, Jacob and Israel. It's the same man. Obviously, this is where the nation gathers their name from, okay? And then here we've got Joseph at 17 years of age. He's the youngest brother, he's the baby brother. And what we notice, a couple of things that are important, because look, we're doing the whole chapter. We're not covering everything in the chapter, so we're just picking some highlights here. And you need to read the whole chapter, to get the whole story. But anyway, Joseph took care of sheep with his brothers, right? And one day he's working with the sons of Bilhah and Zilpah. Obviously, these are two of the handmaidens. Some of those sons, look, everything Jacob did wasn't the way we would do it now, and it wasn't a way that honored God. He did that because he didn't believe God completely, right? But anyway, he's working with these other sons, and he brings a bad report about them to their father. All right, now just know the dynamics of a family when there's a lot of sons and one son tells on the other, that doesn't go well, right? And then we learn something else. And this is, Jacob was not a great father. Can we say that? It's okay. He's not a great father, not a great husband, right? And there are things that it's pretty easy to pick out. And here's one of them. Israel loved Joseph more than his other sons because Joseph was a son born to him in his old age. Well, that's not good, right? You shouldn't love one more than others. Now, we love our kids differently. We don't love all of our kids in the same way because they're different and they need different things. They respond to different things, but we love them the same, even though we may not show it in the same ways. But listen, you don't do this, and the reason we know this is because he showed it, right? He made a robe of many colors for this son. It was obvious he was the favorite son, but then he made him a robe that he didn't make for anybody else, a special robe that obviously set Joseph apart from everybody else. And when his brothers saw that their father loved him more than all his other brothers, they hated him. Yeah. They saw the way he was treated. They knew what was going on, and they hated him because of that, right? They could not, this is really big, they couldn't bring themselves to even speak peaceably to him. They could not even have a conversation with Joseph. They couldn't just sit down and talk with him. Now, Joseph is 17, right? At this time when we get into the story. So he's 17. And those of you that have teenagers, you know what I'm talking about, right? He acted like a 17-year-old, and he put that in their face often. And sometimes it was innocent, and sometimes I'm not sure that it was quite so innocent. All right, so let's skip ahead in the story. Chapter 37, verse 19. Joseph has been sent out to take lunch to the brothers who are working way away, and so Jacob sends Joseph out to bring them lunch, which is another deal, right? They're way out there working hard, and Joseph's hanging around the house. That's not good, right? So when they see him coming, and he's had this dream where he's told them about at dinner one night, where they were all going to bow down to him, even his mother and father were going to bow down to him, and of course family didn't go for that, the brothers especially. They said to one another as they see him coming, "Oh, look, here comes that dream expert. So now come on, let's kill him and throw him into one of the pits. We can say that a vicious animal ate him, then we'll see what becomes of his dreams." Now, what do you think of that? When the brothers just look at that and go, we ought to just kill him. We go back here, they hated him. I mean, you can hate somebody, but not say, I think we ought to kill him. But they decided we need to kill him. And Reuben heard this. He tried to save him from them. And he said, let's not take his life. Let's not kill him. We can do stuff to him, but let's not kill him. We don't want to do that. So we move on now to verse 23. So when Joseph came to his brothers, they stripped off Joseph's robe, the robe of many colors that he had on. Do you think it was wise for Joseph to come out there wearing the coat of many colors? I mean, was he just clueless into how he came off to people? Did he just not realize the way that it appeared to them? Or did he realize it and he liked it? Or did he realize it and he didn't care? Or was this the only coat he had? I don't know the answer to those questions, but I don't think it was the smartest move he made to come out here where his brothers are working hard and to wear the coat that's really offensive to him, right? And then they took him and threw him into the pit. And the pit was empty without water. So instead of killing him and throwing him in the pit, Reuben has convinced them, let's just throw him into the pit. So they throw him into the pit. Now you can picture this, right? He's in the pit. Do you think he's quiet down in the pit? I don't think so. I don't think he's quiet down there. I think he's yelling for help. And he's calling his brothers by name. Judah said to his brothers, what do we gain if we kill our brother and cover up his blood? Come on, let's sell him to the Ishmaelites and not lay a hand on him, for he is our brother, our own flesh. And his brothers agreed. Okay, so we've got Judah and Reuben who have stood up to try to save him from death. But Judah's plan, Reuben's plan is basically, well, let's not kill him right now. Let's throw him in the pit and we'll think about it. And Judah's plan is, hey, look, this guy's our brother, right? He's our own flesh. Why don't we sell him as a slave? And you see how hard-hearted they are and how deep the hatred has settled into their hearts so that they look at this and go, that's a good idea. I like that. After all, he is our brother. We don't want to kill him. Let's just sell him as a slave to these people that are going to take him a long way away. They have their hatred has blinded them to morality completely. It was just hatred is all it was, but it just built and it built. And I'm sure they had conversations and they talked about it, right? When they were all out there working with the sheep on their own, I'm sure, don't you know, they had conversations at night when they laid down. They talked about Joseph. They hated him. It built until some of them thought it would be cool to kill him. And others said, no, I think the better idea would be let's just sell him as a slave. He is our brother. Oh man, that's it. This is where we are, okay? They sell him as a slave. We know he ends up in Egypt. We're going to pick that story up next week. But you see where we go with our sin. The thing that we think is small, right? The thing that we think is, who wouldn't hate him, right? They can rationalize it. Look how he acts. Look what he does. And now they've decided it's okay to kill him. No, kill him. Don't do that. Sell him. That's better. He is our brother. All right. Well, that's it for this week. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel. Like, comment, share it with others. Let me know what you think. And we'll see you next time. More Joseph.